That's the part where we sing. We sing an intro. Alan, you're on. It's you. Chichaona. Ekaya.
Hello. How are you doing?
I don't think the three of us have been here together in a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Oh yeah,
Even
it's
though
been
we
a
can't
while.
actually see Alan.
Because I'm out doing that work that needs the special kind of skill that doesn't need to be broadcast so much. So when it's all done, we'll be right back with the information and it will be advertising and amazing. So I suggest everybody stay tuned to Taura Tuesday because there's something brewing.
There we
Yeah.
go. That was lovely. Your mysterious intros. Now nobody knows what you're doing. I have no idea what you're doing, which is your intention.
Absolutely, yes.
It's like
But it will
the
be
artistic
absolutely good.
introduction. It's the artistic way to do an introduction, I guess.
And mysterious with mystery.
Oh yeah, it's mysterious Taura Tuesday. Oh, MTT. So how y'all doing?
So I'm muting because there's a lot of background noise where I am, and I think my internet is not quite stable. So if I pop off, you guys just keep going. The party keeps going without me.
All right. Won't be the same kind of party, but we'll carry the torch.
Yeah. Excuses. It's okay. We can handle it.
So what's been happening, folks? It's been a while.
I gotta say, I miss being in a room with you guys.
Well, the summer's coming. I can say that. We may not be in a room, but I'm pretty sure we'll be outside together somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Preferably out at the garden doing some weeding. Hey, I know there are many mouths there ready to go and eat some organic produce, but let the hands do a little more than just direct the food to the mouth.
Alan, I did post that I had my my first harvest. The greens, they were really good. Like you can't beat. It doesn't even compare to store-bought vegetables. And in cooking it, you don't even have to do much. It's just when the food is wholesome, you don't have to work hard to get it to taste right.
When we say farmers are chefs, it's because we know when you grow the right thing and you produce the right kind of vegetable. Yeah, the chef in the kitchen is just going to find it amazing, an amazing ride, And then the one tasting will be taken on another amazing journey. So it's amazing from start to end. That's what organic produce is like.
That sounds amazing. And so where can we find you? What's the website?
Well, we're at www.ekayasg.ca. Once you are there, you're in paradise. Just go ahead and pick, and we'll make it happen for you.
Pick and pay, though, right? Pick and pay.
Pick and pay, yes, pick and pay. That's exactly what we want. Pick and pay, and it will be delivered.
This is an inside joke, just for anybody who's not from Southern Africa, because Pick and Pay is the South African food supermarket that's everywhere. So, inside joke.
Yeah, pick and pay. Don't just pick and walk out. Pick and pay.
I never actually thought of that before. Do you know? This is the first time I'm actually like, don't steal my stuff. Pay when you walk out.
That's the first thing when I realize pick and pay. Oh, pick and pay. Don't pick and walk out. That's Southern Africa. Alice, you don't find that funny, really.
Yeah, so you're saying like what's been going on this week? And it's been quite a week. Yeah, it has been quite a week. We're getting ready for Canada Day, which of course is a very big topic. And I actually, do you know what? I'm super keen to hear Alan's thoughts on this because you have such a unique perspective.
Oh,
I really would love to hear what you think about Africa Day this year, Canada Day this year.
yeah. You know, there are many things that go through the mind. Africa Day. Let me start with Africa Day for me. What it means is a recognition of the fact that we are seeing ourselves as ourselves. It's like wake up, rise up, you are here. This is Africa. This is a coming together. And even the whole concept of putting an economic bloc together, it's about the togetherness without even looking at the material gains, so to speak. So it's about the coming together as a people all across Africa and recognizing each other before we even care about being recognized internationally. Right. That's what Africa Day is about for me. Like, find pride in your ancestors. Find pride in those who used to run around in goatskin cloths. Who used to run around half naked because the weather was hot and it was convenient, not because they couldn't make something better. And those who created monuments that were completely disregarded over a long period of time, and the history that was completely denied and hidden and still is being held on to without reason. But Africa Day says, hey, wake up, we have all these things, we can reclaim and show that this is all ours, and we can talk about ourselves, and thus come back to where the world goes into equilibrium. It's not about being better than this race or being better than the next person. It was about just coming to an equilibrium where everything makes sense to everybody, where everything works. Right now, the reason why there's so much strife is because it doesn't work. People just need to accept.
Your sound is not great, Tichana. If you want to bring the mic closer or tweak something, it's a bit hard to hear.
Sorry, how
Better,
is this?
better. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so it's Africa Day is about the coming together. Now, Canada Day for me does not symbolize coming together. At least the way I look at it, the way I see it. Because the coming together should encompass everyone. And in that coming together, everyone's place should be recognized, should be seen, should be acknowledged, and not as a gift to give away, but because it is that way. That's what works. Everything else doesn't. So right now, a large population, the indigenous population, the people who have been the custodians of this land for long before even people got to come into media, they're not included. And they are saying, look, we are not included. Look, this has been going on. And there was a lot of deflection, a lot of no, it wasn't this, or it was that, or it's the church. It's everyone who's seeing it today. It's everyone who has seen it and is seeing it to acknowledge this is terrible that has happened here. Canada Day is not about coming together. Canada Day is about seeing this is who Canada is. Now let's accept that this is who Canada is and make atonement to the custodians of this land that we found already here. And they look upon this land that way too, as custodian to the future generations. We need to, when we come to a place of visiting, we should adopt what happens. We don't come and change because we think we have a better way. Our way is proved to not be. And I say our because I have come also onto this land. But our way is not. Yeah. So I think the indigenous population needs to listen to this.
Okay, you're going in and out. Sound is getting crazy. Yeah, so I know, like, you and I have had a bit of conversation about this as well. I wonder if this sound is you. Is it me? Okay, I'm gonna
I
let
can
you
hear
talk.
you.
I'm gonna let you talk. Let's solve the sound issue.
Okay, well, yeah, like there's all sorts of technical difficulties today. Hopefully, people can hear me. So Canada Day, I I guess personally, I don't, like Alan was saying, I don't really know what we're celebrating. Right. So like for example, when we celebrate Independence Day in Zimbabwe, you know what you're celebrating. That was the day that they went to sign the papers and it was Independence Day. In Canada, I'm not sure what that looks like. But I think the trouble for me right now in this moment is less about Canada Day, but the conversations that we are having, right? Like when it comes to um, the Indigenous people and these residential schools that are being found, I I often just exhale because I'm thinking, I feel we are having the wrong conversation, right? We're not, staying on the surface of the conversation, and we're not really getting deeper and going to really where the conversation should be taken. For example, one of the things that bothers me is that there's this residential school system which everyone was a part of. Well, absolutely, the Catholic Church needs to take responsibility, but people need to take responsibility as well. But they're not doing that. What they're doing is saying, "Oh, those Catholics need to, they need to apologize." But who is the Catholic Church? It is the people. It was the people. So if we're looking for somebody else to blame for the history and putting the blame on somebody else, maybe rightfully so, but we all need to take that ownership as well to say, yes, I was not a priest, but we were part of the system, right? Like it was the people who were here in government and in the local communities that uh, sat by and watched this happen, or were a part of making these things happen. But we don't want to talk about that. The society is not talking about that. Society is not owning up to that. So this problem always becomes someone else's problems. And it's not something that I, Alice, that I, Jackie, need to fix, because I'm not looking at, well, which part of it, either in my lineage or in my presence, do I own and can I fix? So, I think that's my biggest struggle right now is just seeing where the conversations are going. And I think last time we talked about this, I said, "Oh yeah, no, I don't want to, I don't want to speak." But then in not speaking, I'm realizing that the voices that are loud are are doing so much damage that I can't not speak. I don't want to speak for Indigenous people, but I can't be silent because they're not the ones who are screaming the loudest, and the people who are screaming the loudest are saying all the wrong things. So,
yeah. Like there was that, like you shared that I think it was an opinion piece. I forget the guy's name, by somebody in the Record newspaper saying, how, yeah, things were bad, but Canada's amazing, so he's still going to celebrate Canada Day. And I was trying to think like what to say about that, because it kind of like it just sat with you. And I was like, you know what? It's because, so obviously he was a white middle-aged man, obviously. But it was like him saying, yeah, but Canada's awesome. He's like saying that it was worth it. All the stuff that happened, it was worth it because it got me where I am today. So it's worth it. And I was just like, no, 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 no.
Well, and that's the struggle, because like, if you're celebrating Canada Day from that perspective, that everything that happened is worth it, then that's problematic for me. Like there's no way that we can, that's the thing that we celebrate, because who was it good for? Who is it good for? You're erasing a whole people's history. So I feel like I say this about most things. It's the motivation, where your heart is when you are doing that thing, that offends me more than your action of what the thing is that you're doing. So yeah, and the thing with that article that really bothered me was the image that they chose to use, which was that uh, indigenous woman holding a flag. I'm thinking, okay, why would you pick that image? Like, if you're
Was she
white male,
indigenous there? Like,
sorry,
was she indigenous? I couldn't pick. I didn't know that.
she looked like it. It was very, very much a darker skinned woman, with an article written by a white middle aged man. So, and the fact that we would even debate whether or what her ethnicity was meant that it was intentional in putting that image, because, right? And so, and then, but which is the frustration with the communication that happens, because we're okay just telling one narrative. This comes out in the record, but did the record then publish another article speaking about the other side? No, we only ever talk about this one perspective, and everybody else, the rest of us who are in the um, who are in the minority communities, ours are just opinions. They're just social media, while the paper publishes what is propaganda, in my opinion, but what is more substantial and fact, or whatever the thing is, right? So
yeah, I know, like, the record has been trying. Like, they've got like a whole bunch of racialized writers who do like weekly pieces, and I've got to say, like, I get the paper because I want to know what they're saying, but I always flick through the whole paper and I'm looking for articles about Black people, about Africans, about racialized. What are they saying? And those are the things that I look for in the paper. So I noticed that they've been trying, but I also noticed that they've kind of got a bit of a history of like some really like not great headlines, and not great news angles. And yeah, like, if they'd managed to publish it like even side by side, so you had two opinions, but just that guy, like, how does he get the platform? Like, how does he get to hold the microphone by himself?
So you see, well, and I would even actually want to challenge you on that when you say that they are actually trying, they're not trying. This is what we call tokenism. Because for me, yes, if there's a fluffy story that we can put in the paper or in the news, that comes out. But when something really meaningful and tragic happens in the community, we're talking about the indigenous people, or what, or with the police, those encounters, then they're not publishing those perspectives from the victim's perspective, from that indigenous person or from that Black person. So you only want to publish my voice when it's entertainment, or when it makes you feel good. But when I'm grieving, well, no, this is there's laws, like we can't reveal this because this and this and that and whatever, but we can publish the police commissioner's opinion about the situation that happened, but we're not going to let that family speak into what happened. So it's just, I'm not sure that they're trying in a good way.
You're speaking to a specific situation where the family was muzzled, right?
Yep.
And they were not allowed to share their perspective. But the police commissioner, police chief, I don't know. Anyway, he was able to make a statement about that. Yeah. But there's the layers, right? Like, so it's not only the media, like now it's the police. It's like all these layers of like controlling the story and controlling the narrative. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know what that says about Canada Day, but I think, it's definitely a good time for all of us to look inwards and be asking that question: what is the purpose? If the purpose is pure and is respectful to everybody, or to all Canadians, then sure. But if it's a celebration of something that is not respectful, like that article in the record, then no, I want no part of it, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and
yeah.
I feel like it really comes back to the who is Canada, right? Like there was the idea of, you know, Canada being the peacekeepers and, you know, like this whatever being amazing in the world, and that's all there was to the story. And so we could wave our flags and be proud of that. But without, if you're not willing to acknowledge like the truth of some really hard things that happened, then it's all a lie. So what do you celebrate? You know, it's just you can't carry on pretending
Look,
nothing. You can't.
before this technical stuff happened.
Joanna, are you
I
do
think
you
Alan's trying to
Yes,
say something.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
yeah, you need to do something
Can you hear
different.
me?
Sort of.
No? Sorta. Okay.
Your voice matters.
Goodbye.
We want to hear you.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Okay, bye. But you know, it goes back to one of the things that we've talked about before, just talking about how the racism in Canada is so much harder to fight because it doesn't come out and say, I don't like Black people or I don't like Indigenous people. It's, you know, it says please and thank you. And, you know, in a very condescending way, covered in this nice, polite thing. So then it becomes really hard to name. It becomes really hard to accept that it's there when it is there, because so we are all kind of always feeling like, oh, but is it really or is it not? You know, like how some people tell you off without actually saying a cuss word,
Yeah.
and then you're left like 5 minutes later going, wait a minute, did that person just tell me that I'm an idiot? It's kind of that feeling.
Yeah.
So
For me, like I come back to, you know, like I am grateful to be in Canada, and I've had some amazing opportunities since I've been here. Being part of Bring On the Sunshine is one of these amazing opportunities, right? And you know, we often speak about one of the, I don't want to say it's a goal, it's not it's a mission, but it's like it's really important to us, the Bring On the Sunshine team, that we're building the world we want to live in. We're building the world we want our kids to inhabit, right? We're building this world of, you know, sort of openness and acceptance and, you know, whatever all the things are that make us human together in the world in a really good way. And it's kind of what we need to be reckoning with as Canadians as well. Like, who do we want to be in the world, right? Do we want to be these people who don't take responsibility and just, you know, pass the buck and want to pretend things don't happen? Or do we want to like take this on and really reckon with it? And I don't even really know what that means. But like you said earlier, like we have to take responsibility. We can't pretend that this didn't happen, because it did. And we benefit, right? Because Canada exists, we're able to be here. So all that stuff happened, and I don't condone it, but you have to reckon with that on a personal level, and we have to do it on a community level and on a national level as well.
Absolutely. If we never get to that space where we stop saying the Catholic needs to apologize, and we actually apologize to the Indigenous community, or and start to treat them better, our apologies, that apology is meaningless coming from whoever else. It's got to be, and you know, it goes back to what we often talk about in Bring On the Sunshine. It's that way of being together. It's beyond words, where the communication and the healing, the reconciliation that needs to happen is beyond that. I'm sorry. It's, you know, let me feel that you're sorry and let's now walk a different path. But how are you going to walk a different path if it's not your problem? It was those guys, you know, it was the government, or it was the Catholics, or it was someone else. It was someone else's thing. I am outraged, so this is not my thing. We've got to own it.
I don't know if you saw, like there was a picture, I think it was a church in Saskatchewan, and there was some art, like they art bombed it, like really, like it was painful to see, right? It was like the red hands on the door, and like we were only children.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
Then the people from the church washed it off, and they put up this big poster saying, "We are sorry." And I was like, oh, good God, that is so incredibly inadequate. And I was
Yeah.
like, huh? Yeah.
But at least they said we are sorry, right? Like, because in some circumstances you're seeing the reaction being, well, I didn't do it. Well, or I'm a Christian, but I'm not a Catholic. Or it just always is not something that you're owning, and we're just so past that. Like, we need to do better. I think, yeah, I've been upset about this, but yeah, it's a good thing it's days later, because I'm not as militant today as I felt a couple of days ago. But
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, what are you going to be doing this Canada Day then, Alice?
I'm going to be doing some gardening. I'm going to be continuing with my maybe painting my house and stuff like that. But I sort of feel like, especially now, like with the time that I spend with my kids or with other youth that are around me, it feels like I am always in that space where there's an opportunity to share culture, to share, um, not education really, but just to share history. And I feel like we can always do that.
Yeah.
We can always share the truth as it should have been told, as it should be, with our kids or whatever. And that would be a really good way to start to change the perceptions, right, on what we're actually celebrating on Canada Day and stuff like that. But just actually pass on to the next generation, have those conversations about Indigenous people, about the Black people that have been in the region, and all these other things that have not made it because they were not worthy and stuff. So yeah, I feel like every day in my house is education day. We could be watching TV and something comes up. So right.
Yeah.
What are
Yeah.
you up to, Jackie?
Well, to anybody who knows my story, I'm getting adopted by a little girl, and she moves in this week, which is very poignant. Looking at the bigger stories, the bigger stories, like on the national stage, and like all these families who've historically lost children or still are losing children, like within the welfare system or whatever it's called, but I get my family this way, so it's very poignant. It is very poignant.
That feels like a whole episode in itself, right there.
Yeah. Well, next time we do this, I'm gonna be a mom.
That's fantastic. Well, I guess the other things that we should share is just continue to talk about some of the stuff that Bring On the Sunshine will be involved with over the summer. Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Sure. I can do like the little advert piece because I'm good at that part. So we will be hosting a youth away day, as well as Africa Camp Saturday mornings in August. The youth away day will be in July. We do have details on our social media and on our website. This is it's a fully outdoor activity day or period at a local farm in Maryhill that's going to involve a bunch of activities. There'll be opportunities to do swimming, to pet horses, to go on hikes. There's going to be archery and crafts, and just opportunities to have conversation as well. Like, it's been a tough stretch for everybody, and we want to create opportunities for young people to come together and just enjoy themselves and enjoy being, with people who care about them in the great, beautiful outdoors. So yeah, look for more on our website about both of those. We'd love to have you join us.
And remember, because it is COVID, numbers will be limited. So if you do want to hang out with us and the team, you should sign up early.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's been a good one. The technology has been challenging today.
Yeah.
I'm sure Alan had lots to say, but unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be.
Mhm.
But it's been fun chatting with you, Jackie, like always.
Like always. One day we're going to do this all in person around a table, but we'll have to make sure we can do it live. Because you know what this is? I realized like it's so incredibly important that we do this because this is the storytelling. You know, like in the future, people are going to look back and say, oh, well, you know, there's no Black people in Waterloo region. They weren't there during COVID. And I'll be like, no, no, no. Look, there's Alice.
There we go.
She was there.
Yep, we need to bring all our young people here so they can be documented as well, that they were there, they had their experiences and all.
Well, we know they have opinions too. We actually know some very opinionated people, so we need to get them on.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone who chose to pick this time to listen to our talking and our thoughts. Have a good long weekend, and thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Alice. Thank you to Taura.
Oh yeah. Good night, everyone.